What is up, everyone? It is Monday. I'm so excited. I can't even contain myself. I got all kinds of stuff to announce here today. We got some money we're going to be giving away. We're going to have a couple special guests here coming. We're going to add to the show. And we got all kinds of information. We got college basketball conference tourneys coming up. We got all kinds of stuff going on. But before we get too far, before I get too excited and let all the beans out of the bag there, what's going on, Beastie? We got to see what's going on in the Beastie world today.
Yes. Hello, Scott, and everybody that's watching now. I always watch the videos, once or twice through, and I just love to read the comments. People just love to hang out and chat. And I mean, that makes me feel good right here, but this weekend was outstanding. I know it's Monday evening, back to the salt mines, as my late grandfather used to say. But here we are. A new day means new opportunities for betting, new opportunities for building DFS lines. And boy, oh boy, do I have some whoppers, some gems when we talk hockey for tonight.
Oh man, love it. So, man, Beastie, we had a pretty good weekend as far as for Michigan fans. It's always fun when we can kick them Buckies in the ass. And I was a little bit worried. I mean, without Hunter Dickinson going on the road, back against the wall, no Juwan Howard, and boom, we pull it off. And nice little victory there. I mean, they had it pretty much in hand the whole second half. Ohio State made a little bit of a run there at the end, but big victory there. Beastie, I think this one here gets them in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's huge. And I'm not going to give away who our guest is, but when that person comes on, I want to ask them, because we see on social media, there's a few things that really get people upset. And it seems to be one of them is Michigan and Ohio State, and then the rest we'll leave out there. But people, if you're a Michigan fan or you're an Ohio State fan, there's no winning, because after Michigan won, I mean, the social media is just, you got to dodge landmines and bombs, because people are so nasty and they want to get after it so bad, and then they just disappear, right? Michigan wins after everybody, Ohio State people talking crap all week long. And then after this game, it was crickets. And even if someone does reply back, it's about like your mom or your grandma, who has nothing to do with the actual rivalry in this game here. I guess in a way, you and I, we've grown up on this rivalry, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State here. But sometimes on social media, we don't see the other person. Who knows? Some of these folks could be in Canada or California. They just don't care. They just want to be, rude assholes, right? So to me, Michigan winning here, first and foremost, is just sweet, because now we have that to hold against them as leverage. And if I'm not mistaken, Woodward tweeted this out exactly. Can you imagine Michigan beating Ohio State on the last game of the season once again with like that little smirky emoji here? So that's what I like here. Who cares about championships or draft picks? It's just boom, right here and now, right when we need it the most, at the beginning of February. This is what we needed the most to kind of propel ourselves into the spring, into the summer, since we don't know what's going on with baseball. So give me U of M to beat Ohio State every day of the week and just revel in it as long as we can.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. I mean, the football victory obviously got us in a position for the playoff, and this last basketball game definitely got us in position for the playoff. But BC, it's all right. You could have let the cat out of the bag. So our new, we're going to have a little segment later. We are going to call it the Go Blue Report with Lexi. So we're going to add Go Blue Lexi 117 from Twitter to the show. Big Michigan supporter. So we're going to get her thoughts. We'll see, talk a little bit about Michigan and all that. So we're going to end that right before the best bets on the show today. So we'll bring her in here shortly. But Beastie, we got all kinds of other things. How about, even though we're Michigan fans, I still got to give credit where credit's due. Tom Izzo, with the big victory, becomes the all-time wins leader in the Big Ten, 663 there. I got to give it to you, Tom. I mean, that's quite the career, 663 wins. I mean, damn, that is one hell of a career. So, I mean, he's still got it in him. I think he can give it a little run for a little bit longer here, so we'll see. But, I mean, Beastie, 663 wins. I mean, you think about that. I mean, that's what is it, 20-some years? I mean, that's incredible, but good for Izzo. Really good for the program there. Last senior night, he gets the victory, and I know he's always been a big guy to support his players. So good to see that, especially, too, on senior night.
No doubt. And to be fair, you give credit where credit's due, right? I'm not deep down. I'm not a jerk. Deep down, I want to see people succeed. I don't care what color you are, male, female, red, yellow, white, what school you work for or coach with. I mean, if you're a stud and you're good at what you do, then that kind of thing will kind of create, it'll pick up steam and it'll rise to the, heat or smoke, all that stuff rises to the top here. So with Izzo, it's all love, right? He coaches the Michigan State Spartans. We know that. The graphic is up right there. But to me, Izzo's one of those guys, just he's a consummate professional. To be fair, I've never heard a single person, student, player, mother, father, ever say a bad word about this guy. And that's saying something because he's been around and coaching, around everybody from generation to generation, been around for so long. Just his 2 feet have been in East Lansing for years on end. So I appreciate everything he's done. I mean, it is one for the record books. It actually is in the record book. So all love to Tom Izzo and all the Michigan State fans and everybody that's played under him or had, sons and all that too, who were coached by Tom Izzo here. So yeah, that's a huge deal. I was doing the we're not worthy kind of thing because it's true. Anybody who's good at their job or anybody who can have this much continued success, 20 plus years, 30 plus years, that they deserve the credit. Hats off to you, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. Izzo, you just got to give the guy credit where credit's due. They come right in after Judd Heathcote. Izzo comes in, and then his tenure here. The next guy, talk about a couple big shoes to fill. Good luck to you there. But yeah, congratulations to Tom Izzo. And hey, we got all kinds of good tournament stuff coming up. Obviously, we got conference tournaments coming up. So we're going to break some of those down tomorrow, Tuesday, coming in. Most of them do start on Wednesday, going into Thursday. Some start Thursday, but we'll take a look at some of the bigger conferences, kind of look at what we like, talk about some strategy and all kinds of stuff. But those conference tourneys, of course, lead into the big NCAA tourney. So, hey, Beastie, I'm going to let a little something out of the bag here from the Woodward Sports Network. The Woodward Sports Network is going to run a bracket challenge this year. So get on in there. It hasn't, get in there, pre-register. You go to woodwardsportsbracket.com. Check it out there. Grand prize is 1,000 simoleons, $1,000. Second place gets you a nice pair of fresh looking shoes. And then third place gets a pizza party from Papa Romano's, value $300. So yeah, get on in there. Let's challenge everybody. Hey, put your name in there. Put WB after your name, a little Woodward Bets, so we can keep track of our Woodward Bets listeners. So, we're going to root for our listeners here against some of the other shows. We got to have some fun with it. But yeah, so if you're with the Woodward Bets, check it out there. Get in there and sign up. We want to see as many people in there as possible. But Beastie, I can't contain myself. We get to have a contest here and kind of see how we do and fare against all the listeners and get in there and mix it up a little bit during this NCAA tourney. What you think here?
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And I'll just say it out loud. I never really keep anything in here. I remember, off air, just in a casual conversation while we were texting, that Woodward Bets own beer, Mr. Chris Prince, he's a savant when it comes to these tournament brackets and picking the winners, as you so said it. And I'm kind of telling the story secondhand, from what you've told me, Scott. But that's the way to be. You get in your lineups however you want to build them. More importantly, there should be no rhyme or reason. Anytime you're going to put time and effort into a bracket, I don't think I would go down that route. And we know the extensive notes and how immaculate they are. I don't do anything like that for the NCAA tournament because that's just it. It's all 99.9% luck or chance here. So I'm excited to fill mine out. I'll have a big WB next to my name, Detroit Beastie WB, and we'll see what we get. And look, as the week progresses here at Woodward Sports, Woodward Bets, we're going to hear all that stuff. I'm sure we're going to read a ton of articles about, when they crunch numbers and the 9 seed always loses to 14 and all the different matchups and percentages over the years. And to be fair, they're not even talking about actual team names and schools. They're just talking numbers. 14th seed, 6th seed. So it's just nuts. Enough to make your head spin, enough to make your head explode. But just fill it out from the heart. You like the team's favorite color, whatever it is, fill it out, and we'll see what we got at the end of it.
Yeah, beer's always good at picking them upsets, Beastie. You look at it and you think, oh, man, I got, especially some of these brackets get blown up, and then Beer Man's got that 4 or 5 seed that make it to the Final Four. And, next thing you know, he's 20 points back, and here he comes roaring up in the first place because he's got the, Final 8, and, he's got 6 of the 8 Final 8 that half of them nobody even understands why they're there, but that damn beer man, he picked it out for some reason. It just seems like that's his mojo. But be excited to see how everybody fares. I'm looking forward to that. And then, hey, we got a big week here this week too with all these brackets and conference tournaments. And hey, the golf world. I mean, we got a pretty big tournament this weekend. We got the Players Championship coming up, and we're going to have Kelly Singh from Phoenix is going to be joining us to get all her takes on golf. She's a big golf bettor, likes to play, get in there, mix it up in some DFS. So kind of looking forward to see what Kelly has for us as far as some bets. I know her and I were kind of talking last week. We both were on Rory there, started out good, and then I don't know what happened, Beastie, if he found the good local wine out there or what. But if Arnie Palmer showed him a little stash that he had in his cabinet, but wheels fall off the wagon in that one. But Beastie, before we get too far, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of our show, and that is the Better Rate Mortgage. Better Rate Mortgage, family is more than blood. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family, actually better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit mybetterrate.com or call 248-480-4467 today. But Beastie, I mean, we got to look at a couple things, other news that was kind of out there. What about, I just got to ask you, I know we can briefly touch on this, with football. When you start hearing guys like Amari Cooper and guys that are in pretty good situations that you might be able to target or trade for in your dynasty leagues, now do you recommend going after guys like Godwin, Devontae Adams, A-Rob? I mean, guys that you think maybe like A-Rob, pretty poor situation there in Chicago, and you got to believe, hey, if he gets picked up by a pretty decent team with a decent quarterback, obviously that's going to improve. Are you one to try to fish around and try to get some trades, try to catch some people napping or take a shot? Now, Amari Cooper very well may go to the Green Bay Packers. You never know. Let's just say, and all of a sudden he's playing with Aaron Rodgers, or you never know what could come of some of these changes here. But are you one to try to take some chance and try to make a trade on some of these guys before you know where they're going to end up landing?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been my whole MO. Like realistically, my whole writing and broadcasting career, especially when I got into and just made the transition 100% to DFS, take big swings. You're not, you could get the job done single or double at a time, but the home run is what you're looking for. That's from start to finish. You can say to someone, I hit a home run, and it literally could mean a million different things. I won the lotto. I scored a hot wife. Who knows what it means based on the situation. But when you look at Chris Godwin or Amari Cooper, I mean, Chris Godwin and Cooper to me, maybe this is just my personal opinion, personal preference here with Cooper. I've never been into this guy from a DFS perspective, from a seasonal fantasy perspective or a dynasty perspective, yet he still gets it done. I mean, he's an elite wide receiver, just someone I don't want anywhere around my real life team or my dynasty team because he drives me nuts. And look, I'm the GM of my own team. I'm allowed to do as I please. I'm not out here right now telling folks to fade Amari Cooper. I mean, who knows? There's a whole large class of people that are Dallas Cowboys fans are probably head over heels in love with Amari Cooper. We just don't know where he's going to go. As it stands now, last we heard, the Dallas Cowboys are probably going to have to cut him to save $20 million in cap space. So to me, It's kind of how can I say this without sounding strange? To me, Amari Cooper is basically a free square. And when I say free square, no matter where he goes, he's going to be productive. Although I would be keeping my fingers crossed he doesn't go to Green Bay. He doesn't go anywhere on the East Coast that plays outside in December, in November, because it's freezing cold. This dude has always played in a dome or in a sunny, warm temperature kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just saying out loud, if he goes to Green Bay, what are his chances of playing a full 16, 17 games when half of those will be, negative 10 degrees in Green Bay or out in Buffalo where it's snowing? So to me, Amari Cooper, go after him. That's your free square. You can get him, and no matter where he goes, he's going to be okay for a short period of time. When we look at Chris Godwin, though, this guy has everything you want in a wide receiver, right? He goes after it. He puts his head down and he works hard. If anybody watching this now, or even you, Scott, knows anything about me, I love those kind of people, male, female. They put their head down, they work hard. They're not dancing on the 50-yard line. They're not out creating problems in their community, things of that nature. So to me, Chris Godwin would be a nice little score for any team. Although I think he's going to stay in Tampa Bay. Maybe I'm off on that one, but wherever Chris Godwin goes, you're going to want him. Same thing with Amari Cooper. Sometimes I just can't help but to share my personal opinion on these players, and a little bit of kind of strategy and things along those lines. So to me, yeah, I'm going to move some pieces around. And you say, can you move them around and can you add these guys? Can you catch someone napping? Well, Scott, in today's day and age of Twitter, there's 10 million thousand people writing and broadcasting on social media, fantasy sports, rankings, projections here. So the likelihood of you catching someone napping to get a deal and get over on somebody to grab Cooper or to grab Chris Godwin, that's probably highly unlikely. But maybe, work your magic. Maybe you have the gift of gab like I've been doing the last 10 minutes. Maybe you can work something out here. So to me, at this stage of the season, pre-draft here, anything is possible. Go for it all, shoot for the moon, and chase your dreams. You're grabbing Cooper, Godwin. It's never a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking for upside. I mean, maybe one of these guys in a bad situation, they go to a better team. You might be able to make a trade. What looks like it'd be even trade, but you might end up working out for you. A guy ends up in a better position or better team, whatever the case may be. Now, the Lions here, I mean, any of these guys with the Lions, it wouldn't, it's not tickling it for me I wouldn't get that excited about it. I can't see myself drafting a Lions receiver in like even the top 10 of receivers, whatever else. Not saying I broke them all down, but just off the top of my head, I can't see myself getting too excited about it. But I just was curious, Beastie. I know you and Beer Man like to get in there and mix it up in the dynasty. So I didn't know if times like this where you guys, make trades, take some chances before a guy maybe lands somewhere else. But Beastie, we also got some NBA going on today. We got 8 games today going on in the association. Of course, the Pistons are going to lace them up tonight. We got a home game against the Atlanta Hawks -7.5. 227 is that over under. Pistons have been on absolute fire, Beastie, as far as covering the spread. That is 7 in a row that the Pistons have won covering the spread. And you look at the rundown of teams here. We're not talking about any slouches here. Boston, Cleveland, Boston, Charlotte, Toronto, Washington, the Pacers. I mean, it's not like we're beating up the bottom of the NBA, which, it just seems like they got a better flow going with Jeremiah Grant. Seems like they're playing a lot better, a lot more confidence here. But, Beastie, what do you think of these Pistons tonight? Do you think they got a chance to cover against these Atlanta Hawks and make it 8 in a row?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say this. I don't know where I heard this. I know I didn't make it up myself, so I'm not trying to take credit for this, but a young, hungry, aggressive team is pretty flippin' dangerous. And that's exactly what the Pistons are right now. Are they on the hook for going to the finals or even making the playoffs? Absolutely not. But when they can string together, an allotment of games like they are now, sky's the limit. Let's see where they can take it. Let's see what we're doing. And if the old adage, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Let's keep that same momentum rolling. And we know all professional sports, specifically basketball, it's a thing where you guys got to be on the same page. Football is probably the most prominent for that, but so is basketball. You might put on a basketball game or you're out there watching some street ball and people are just moving around, standing around. Most of that time in the NBA, that stuff is all scripted. There are legitimate plays where player A has to be here, B, and we move around here. And right now, that's long been the hardest issue or the hardest thing to grasp for a young team is, working together, getting it done together. And the Pistons they're on the cusp of it now. I'm not saying that they're going to be the next greatest team here, but right now, I think they have a chance to beat anybody, and they're playing the Hawks tonight at home. And if anybody's going to shut them down, it might be, the Atlanta Hawks here. Trae Young is unbelievable. Clint Capella, even Delarno Gallinari, I believe his name is. He's been, tossed around in DFS circles as of late as a nice kind of, salary relief play here. But to me, I'm going to look for the Pistons. I think the final score is going like 118 to 110 here. So I'm going to take the Pistons here. Over, under, same thing.
Yeah, just kind of looking at some DFS, Beastie, we got all kinds of value tonight to look at. We're going to be able to spend up for some guys. Golden State's literally running with a pretty short roster. I think Jordan Poole is the best play of the night. I think you got to look at him. Brandon Williams is another guy that I'd be looking at. Jonathan Kuminga, too, also without Curry, Wiggins, and Clay. He's going to get some run as well. Keldon Johnson. No, DeJounte Murray is questionable. I like him either way, even if he gets in there. The Lakers are the 8th most points to power forward. A little pay-up guy that I'd look at, Karl Anthony Towns. He's a pretty good Portland, 4th most points to centers. But LeBron James would be a guy that I'd probably look at paying up for. But you could maybe look at Luka, as you mentioned. Trae Young is another guy. Trendon Watford is another guy you might be able to look at for some salary relief, maybe some Malik Monk. But Beastie, as you know, you got to pay attention to NBA and make sure you keep your ear to the ground because there's always things that could pop up, news that could pop up that will give you a little bit more value looking into it. But yeah, Beastie, that Piston game there, I think I really like the Pistons here. But do you got anybody as far as DFS, maybe any kind of spend ups, anybody I missed, anybody else that you may want to mention?
Yeah, absolutely. 2 guys I'm going to lock in my lineup right now, and it's nothing profound. It's DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox here, right? Rosen, the Chicago Bulls are playing in Philadelphia, and then Fox, the Sacramento Kings, are at home hosting the New York Knicks here. Now, on DraftKings, I've been around this broadcast long enough to know what's shocking to me, Scott, is you and I are big FanDuel guys, but it seems like a lot of fans of the show don't even bother with FanDuel. So I will now transition to giving away DraftKings prices in hopes of connecting with more people. But DeMar DeRozan 9-7 on DraftKings, and then De'Aaron Fox 9-3 on DraftKings. And to be fair, when you look at the top of this thing, like most expensive players here, I mean, they're at like the 3rd tier here. You got Djokovic, Luka Doncic, Harden, Embiid, LeBron. These guys are all $11,000+ on DraftKings, and yet when you look at De'Aaron Fox or DeMar DeRozan here, they could put up just as much or a little bit more than these guys here. So DeMar DeRozan, I have it for 49, maybe 50 total DraftKings points, and then Fox about the same thing, 49.5, maybe 50 even here. But some spend down prices. You're right, Jordan Poole, top of my list. Jonathan Kuminga, top of my list. And I also love this kid named Jaden McDaniels. He plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're at home against Portland here. Jaden McDaniels, $4,600 on DraftKings. You're looking at probably a ceiling. I know this is, let's just be sensationalism, right? The ceiling game of Jalen McDaniels could be around 40 total points, and even toss in a little bit of Tyler Hero, 7,200, and even this Dante DiVincenzo kid, again, another Sacramento King hosting the New York Knicks. He's only $4,500 on DraftKings. So that's the way I'm moving my pieces around tonight, spending up for Rosen, Fox, and then, letting the chips fall where they may.
Love it. Yeah, NHL or NBA, I should say, it's getting a little bit easier. It doesn't seem to be as many late guys, but out and getting swapped out and swapped in. I mean, that's just so aggravating when you're trying to pay attention. And it's like I would leave for 10 minutes, Beastie, and some news would come out, and then there would have been some changes I would have need to make to keep up with the crowd. But either way, Beastie, I want to give another shout out to the other sponsor of the show, and that is the Jars Cannabis Company. You shop jarscannabis.com. They offer delivery, in-store pickup, and also they have the Michigan's largest variety for any of the lifestyle needs. Jars Cannabis is a medical and recreational retailer located throughout Michigan, Detroit, Flint, Grand Rapids, Lansing, and more. And hey, if you mention the Woodward Sports Network, you get 20% off your Jars order. So yeah, basically, spend $100, you get $20 worth of free either gummies or a couple pre-rolls, whatever else, just for listening to the Woodward Sports Network. So definitely appreciating them being a part of the show. But man, Beastie, looks like they got like Raider jerseys on there. So I know they have outfits out there in LA. We're gonna have to get them some Lions type colored gear for sure. But we'll get them something a little bit like gray and blue and get them lionized there. But Beastie, we got some NHL. We got 5 games. Why don't you give us a rundown real quick of the DFS slate, and then we're going to bring in Lexi for our Gold Blue report right after NHL rundown.
Good. Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me do the NHL first and then bringing her in, so she'll have a good opinion of me when we're live on the broadcast here. But when you look at this game, I always love the graphic covering the screens. Shout out to Woodward for making that one. As you said, we have 5 games here tonight, and it's kind of beautiful after a long weekend. Felt like it went by like in warp speed here, and now we got 5 good games here. And to me, I want to mention a few things, right? So we're looking at Toronto Maple Leafs are playing that, Toronto won with Austin Matthews. Colorado won with Nathan McKinnon. Edmonton won with Connor McDavid here. So a casual group of bettors or a casual group of DFS players, they're going to flock to those teams. Even Boston won. So on a night with 5 games, we have probably 4, if not 5, of the better offensive teams on the slate here. So what I'm getting at, 5 games, you put your money in, you build, and you do that here. But I'm saying it right now. I don't want to come across as I'm telling folks to fade Toronto 1, fade Edmonton 1, but kind of in a way I am in big GPPs. As you said, 5 games, 10 teams, we have to think outside the box. I've been saying this for a long time, especially on this broadcast. Do you want to win just a little piece of the pie or the whole damn thing? I want the whole damn thing, and I'm going to take big swings here. So I want to preface this by saying I'm not in any way telling folks to fade these studly teams, Toronto, Edmonton, and everything, but I'm going to zig when other people zag. And for that fact, I love the idea of stacking up the Florida Panthers here. They're averaging, as of late, I believe 4.10 goals a game, and they're only giving up around 2.70 goals a game here. So you do the math, you're going to win a lot of games that way, outscoring your opponent by 2 goals here. And just so happens Florida is in Buffalo. What's sweeter than a matchup of an outstandingly studly offensive team playing in Buffalo who can't stop a beach ball in going in the net here? So to me, I'm stacking up the Florida Panthers every which way. Florida 1, Florida 2, Florida's first line, and Alexander Barkov, Carter Verhaeghe, and this young kid, Mason Marchment. He's coming out of nowhere. If you put your ear to the ground, as Scott says, and you go on social media, everybody's talking about this kid in seasonal format. Should I add him? Should I cut? What are we doing here? So to me personally, you can't go wrong with Florida tonight. Even their second line, Sam Bennett, Jonathan Huberdeau, and Anthony Duclair. As it stands right now, and I'm cool with betting my reputation on this, I'm almost certain that Florida scores 6 or 7 goals here tonight. So you're going to want a piece of Florida in everything that you do. And when we move down the list here, I also love the idea of Boston's second line here. Boston 1 is all the rage, Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchment, and we move on here. But their second line, Eric Halua, David Pasternak, and Tyler Hall, they're outstanding. Pasternak is a stud, aka they call him Pasta. And then Taylor Hall, we know his draft capital and what he can do on the ice here. I'm telling you now, a team like Florida or Boston too, they're going to fall way under the radar as people try and jam in Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid. And when all is said and done, right before lock, we're going to have a bunch of teams that went unedited, or we're going to have a bunch of teams that it's just Colorado, Toronto. And on the little bitty off chance that these teams don't perform and we faded them and we went another direction, we're looking at the top of the leaderboard. We're looking at some major GPP cash here. So to me, all about Florida's first and second line, all about Boston's second line. And if you wanted to get a little crazy, that late game, Monday tonight, 9:30 Eastern, a few hours away, everybody's in on Edmonton. I've said it a million times. Let's look at Calgary's first line as well. Lindholm, Johnny Gaudreau, and Blake Coleman. These 3 dudes are just running amok, and they're scoring at such an amazing clip, but their price tag kind of reflects that. So to me, I want to, warning here, don't bet anything you can't lose. Don't get in over your head, but I'm saying it now. I don't want folks to fade Toronto, Colorado 1, or Boston 1, Edmonton 1, just because I'm talking out loud. That's the way I'm moving. If you want to follow suit, you're more than welcome, but I'm looking to zig while others zag here. So give me Florida 1 and 2, Boston second line with a little bit of taste of Calgary's first overall line here, Scott.
Hey, you got to zig when others zag. That is for sure. You got to love the Beastie breakdown. But Beastie, hey, we're going to be so cool nowadays. We even got a special little commercial here we're going to start playing. But we're getting to be big time now. But we got to take a little short break for this message.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
All right, love it. I mean,
outstanding.
They say it a lot better than we do, Beastie. I mean, he's like professional over here.
Well, I've never been given the chance.
I've
never been given the chance to read a spot. It's always you or beer, and I'm just sitting on my thumbs here. I could read a spot every once in a while. I think I'd be pretty good at it too.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it is pretty fun. But hey, there she is. We got Lexi join us. We're excited to have her. We want to talk some Michigan sports. There's been all kinds of fun going on in the Michigan sports world. So wanted to bring her in. She's pretty active on the local Twitter. So, hey, we like to, as we mentioned, Beastie, when we started Woodward Bets, we're going to be looking to get some of our own here, local owned people to come on and talk sports with us. But Lexi, how's it going today? Glad to have you on.
Good. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm excited.
Your hair looks phenomenal, by the way. We cut to you and you were shaping the bangs and everything. It looks outstanding. Don't worry.
Thanks.
Yeah, so Lexi's a big Michigan fan, as of those of you follow her and know, but she's big into the Michigan sports scene. Her and I were actually kind of laughing back and forth. Of course, it's fun to poke fun at the Buckies here. I mean, we all three of us like to do that. I mean, hey, that's 2 wins in a row at the end of the season for us to get us in. There we go. Ohio is beneath us. We love it. But Lexi, what do you think of that basketball game? And it's always fun beating Ohio State, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's been incredible feeling, just because I was not expecting a win, let alone in Columbus. So it was great. I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, like we said, teasing Ohio State's a lot of fun. And, they said, when we were playing football that it was the snow that helped them get it. So, hey, I guess it must have been snowing there it is. Good job there, Spencer. Look, it was snowing on the basketball court. So, hey, maybe that's why we got the win. If they want to use that for an excuse, we'll let them have it there. But
oh yeah.
Also some other stuff though, Lexi, I wanted to bring up to you. Some news about J.J. McCarthy. Are you concerned about that? A little surgery there. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, it's definitely not good news. But hopefully, because of just how young he is, we're far enough out from July when he's expected back that I think that he can still compete for a starting position. I just hope all goes well, and I hope that it's not too serious. But we'll see. I haven't seen anything like confirmed fully, only rumors. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't hear what happened to him. Did you guys hear? Beastie, did you hear what happened to him, or Lexi? I didn't hear.
No, just a shoulder injury.
Yeah, so quick. Maybe he got turbo boosters in his ankle. Who knows?
Yeah, I didn't hear what was wrong with him there. But Lexi, of course, the big talk here is the Big Ten tournament. Wisconsin had to lose in Nebraska because they're chicken shits and don't want to face us in their first round matchup there. I mean, losing to Nebraska, that's kind of hard to do. They're literally like the worst team in the Big Ten. So they go out, they lose that game, put them down to the number 2 seed, which put Beastie's favorite team, Illinois, up there at the top. Kobe Cockburn, he's always Kofi Cockburn. That's Beastie. If Beastie was GM of the Pistons, I think he wouldn't mind drafting him. And I wouldn't mind that either. He's a big presence. Lexi, what are you thinking here of this conference tournament? You think they got a shot to win, or do you think they're happy that they're in? But that second game against Illinois is the one I'm worried about.
Yeah, I mean, it depends which Michigan team shows up. It depends if our starters have more than like double digits, not just one person, or have T. Will off the bench be hitting threes to win the game. We need everyone to show up in this tournament. Indiana has to win this game in order to get into March Madness. So I mean, they're not going to be some team that's going to roll over. They're going to fight. Now we do have a 8-game win streak, I think, right now on Indiana. The last time they beat us was like 2016. So it's going to be interesting. Again, I don't know if we could even beat Illinois. They've had our number since Juwan's been here. So until they prove otherwise, I'm not sure we can make it through past Friday. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know, Beastie. What do you think? Do you think we got a shot here at all during this tournament? Do you think? I mean, if you want to bet on the money line, I haven't seen what it is to win, but as I mentioned, just keep betting on them to win the money line all the way through, and you'll end up winning more money by rolling your money over every time. But
Yeah.
what do you think, Beastie? I got to imagine
Well,
they're going to be like 10, 12 to 1 to win the Big Ten.
I mean, sure, any college basketball team has a shot, right, in their seasonal seasonal tournament here, and even the big one here. When you get down to the Big Ten tournament or ACC tournament, it kind of tightens up. You just got to worry about the Big Ten. You win, that kind of punches your ticket if that's the way college basketball works. But when we look at Michigan heading into this tournament, yeah, anything is possible, right? We've seen little flashes of them all season. Yeah, they've been down and out. Yes, they've been dominant. Same could be said for State. Same could be said for Illinois, any one of these Big Ten teams here. So to me, if they can get cruising, get rolling, it's been a tale as old as time. If a team can get hot and peak at the right time, boom, sky's the limit. Anything is possible. So as a Michigan guy, as a homer, I'm not going to give away like faulty or negligent information here. You should put your house payment on Michigan to win the tournament here. But there could be something happening here if they can get that fire, up under them and boom, heading in.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Big Ten tournament a little bit more tomorrow as we get closer. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about some Michigan sports here. Lexi, you follow hockey too, I imagine, as we mentioned a little bit. How about that big victory that Michigan had over MSU this weekend?
Yeah, there's our hockey team is just incredibly talented. I'll stand by it that if it wasn't for like COVID, we would have won it all that year. They were like so good then and just only adding more talent now. So I haven't made it to a game in probably like two years, I think. So I really got to get over there to see them because they're one of the more consistent teams to follow for Michigan athletics.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, going to Yost Arena is so much fun. I mean, usually hit a bar or two beforehand, get the juices flowing, then you got all kinds of fun little chants. It's like everything. I mean, these students say everything's choreographed. I mean, everything's just something happens. They got to chant for it. The phone rings in the press box, and they tell the goalie it's his mom and that he stinks. And it's just it's so much fun to go down to these games. But Lexi, you're going to have to keep us in tune what's going on with these Michigan sports now rolling in here. I mean, we got some football. We're going to have to chime in with you and have you come on here from time to time when we got to talk some Michigan sports. But
hey,
yeah, looking forward.
This is what I live and breathe it, so I'll come on anytime you guys need to talk.
All right, sounds good. Hey, we got to have somebody. I mean, we got Alex with Woodward Sports. He's always given his MSU thoughts and everything else. So we need to get a little Michigan thoughts here as well. But glad you joined us today. We're going to
do a lot of Michigan State fans. I've noticed there's a lot of Michigan State fans at Woodward Sports. It needs to be balanced out more. I totally agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, even our own beer man, he's a Wisconsin fan. But it's Beastie and I, and then Spencer and Easy, our producers, they're Michigan State fans. But yes, I walk in there, and other than Braylon's the big Michigan supporter in the building. He's always got the blue on, and he's always, if you got it on, he's always first to give you a hug and go blue and everything else. So a lot of fun to get in there and mix that up. But Lexi, appreciate you joining us today. We're gonna get you on here some more, especially if this tournament goes on. Hey, how about this? Right before that big Illinois game, maybe we'll see what's going on, or if they can get a victory, we'll get your thoughts on that. But yeah, follow Lexi over there at her Twitter. Make sure you guys get over there. Follow Lexi at her Twitter, and if you got any, there it is. Go Blue Lexi at 117. So if you guys need some Michigan talk from us guys, we're all we all say the same thing. We all like to give Ohio State shit. At least we can get a female perspective, and that's always helpful, especially if you ask Beastie. If you ask her, she'll tell you. You got to have a female perspective, right there, Lexi.
No doubt.
Right.
So all right, well, appreciate you joining us, but
Thanks,
Beastie,
Lexi.
we got to get to some best bets here. But glad she got to join us on the show. Always like to get some of our listeners.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
outstanding. You meet new people. I mean, I don't know. I hope that people that watch Woodward Bets, they're not sick of you, they're not sick of me, they're not sick of beer. And right when people think that they hate us or they don't like us, boom, we'll drop in Lexi or Kelly, and it'll kind of sprinkle it up here, and then people will go, maybe Scott and Chris and beer aren't that bad to begin with. So having a guest on alleviates a lot of pressure, I feel.
yeah, absolutely. It's always fun. Like we said, we like to get our, our listeners on and get some people to come on and talk sports with us. That's what we're here to do. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Obviously talking sports, but Beastie, let's give all the people what they want here. Let's give out some best bets for the day. I will let you go first, my friend. What you got for the people?
Sure, I'm going to keep it per usual with hockey here. There's three bets. I mean, there's 5 games. I have one for every game here, but I don't want to overwhelm folks. So I have a nice 3-legged parlay here. The last game of the evening, the Edmonton Oilers head to Calgary to take on the Flames here. I love the over 6.5 goals in here. I think we're looking at a final score of about 5-4, 4-3. So any way you slice it, we're looking at well over 6.5 goals. So give me the over in that one. I love the idea of taking the Colorado Avalanche in New York, in New Jersey, to beat the Islanders by more than a goal and a half here. I think Colorado wins 4-1, 5-1. So you're looking at a goal differential of 3, maybe 4 goals. So take Colorado minus a goal and a half. And then I can't say enough good things about the Florida Panthers tonight. Florida goes to Buffalo. Maybe I'll bet the house on Florida here because that's the way it's looking. I think Florida wins this one. They hang 6, maybe 7 goals, in comparison to Buffalo, 1 or 2 goals here. So if you want to get a little wild, if you want to spice up this parlay, tease the Florida Panthers minus 2.5 goals, and we'll see what we get this time tomorrow. Edmonton and Calgary over 6.5 goals, Colorado minus a goal and a half, and then Florida Panthers minus 2.5 goals in Buffalo tonight.
Love it, Beastie. I'll tell you what, I got 2 for tonight. I'm going to keep rolling with our own Detroit Pistons. I don't know how you can't. I mean, they've covered 7 in a row. I've been pretty much on them along the whole way. I'm going to keep riding the hot streak there and the disrespect with all the points they've been getting. And plus, Atlanta has not fared too well in their last 7 road games. They are only 1-6 against the spread. So give me the Pistons tonight at home. I like that. And then we're going to go over to the Horizon League semis here. We got Wright State versus Cleveland State. I'm going to go with the under in this game, under 146. It's actually dropped from 145. So I am going to go with the under in that one. The last 3 out of 4 when these two teams have played have actually dropped under. I just think this with being a semifinal game for their conference tournament here, I think they'll be a little bit tighter. So give me the under in that one. But Beastie, before we run out of here, you got any words of wisdom for the people before we take off?
Not really. I mean, it's Monday evening. Hopefully we got through, the weekend went back by like warp speed. It's now Monday evening. Hopefully everybody's safe and fine at home here. And what better way that to start your week off on the right foot than watching bets or just calling someone you love. I know I mention that all the time, but if it's good stuff, if it makes you feel good, then do it out loud here. So reach out to at least one person and say, hi, thank you for what you've done, whether it's your mother, your father, your wife, your husband, even if it's your manager or coworker. Just reach out to one person and tell them something kind that they did that kind of changed your mood or changed your outlook, of the future, short term or long term.
Yeah, I'll tell you my words of wisdom. A, gamble responsibly, as always. Want to make sure you guys always do that. B, hit that like button for us on the way out. Hit that subscribe button. C, if you're not following the Woodward Bets Twitter, get your ass over there and follow that for us too. And then the big one, make sure you're over and registered at that woodwardbetsbracket.com. $1,000 for first place, second place, a nice fresh pair of tennis shoes. Third place gets a pizza party from Papa Romano. So get on over there, fill that out, and hey, if you can, after your name, put WB for the Woodward Bet Show, because we want everybody to know that one of our listeners took this down and shipped that $1,000. But make sure you guys are checking that out for sure. But that is going to do it for today's Woodward Bet Show for Detroit BC4. Spencer behind the glass. I am Scott. We appreciate you listening, and we'll check you tomorrow.